don't listen to them, what you're going to end up is you may succeed for a short period of time, but then you're going to end up having to step back and go back to that foundational point where you should have been anyway.
That's correct. And the challenge is balancing that methodology, that discipline, with the natural enthusiasm that comes with being an entrepreneur. And we've both been in that place where you're so excited about what you're doing, you're pretty sure that, you know, this is the project that's going to get the funding on the thanks to the business plan on the napkin. And, you know, those stories are few and far between, really, statistically, when you look at them. And organizations like ours are meant to give you a fresh, independent view of your project. And we'll be honest, you know, we'll tell you whether you're ready for funding or not. And so many times, the majority of companies are either not ready for funding or unfundable, in which case there are options. There are many options, but a lot of entrepreneurs will just go down that road saying, hey, I gotta get funding. I want $2 million or $1 million or $500,000, and they beat their head against a wall for, you know, a year instead of working on their business.
Or several years.
Yeah.
And I think demystifying a lot of this is one of the reasons why we started doing these shows, because we genuinely believe that opportunities are being missed because people have either misguided or incorrect assumptions, and they end up causing themselves either a barrier or complete failure, whatever it might be. For example, as your example of the LLC versus a C Corp, that's a pretty significant decision from a liability management perspective.
It can be, yeah.
What in this economy are you guys seeing more or less? What type of a membership, participation are you seeing there?
Sure. Well, with the re-release of TCVN's website and a lot of the efforts that we're putting in, we're seeing an uptick in a big way to our forums and events and workshops. So there's a considerable amount of buzz building about TCVN. For quite some time, we had delivered somewhat the same programming, and everybody inside the executive committee would tell you that. And so, like every other organization, we had to step up to the plate and really re-deliver and rethink what we're doing. So as part of that, as I mentioned, not only reprogramming some of the workshops and forums, but also adding things like webinars, more interactive features to the website, and content that lives beyond.
You mean use of the technology they've been pushing for you?
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. And again, you know, to your point, this is really to build transparency. To a large degree, you're absolutely correct. I think we had the bubble of the 90s and the dot-coms that you and I were involved in, and there was so much excitement and irrational exuberance then that you didn't look at the details. It was possible for you to go and get financing like that.
On a napkin.
Yeah, and
look where that got us.
Now that it's harder, not only is there, well, what happened? I thought this is how you do it. But there's also, okay, well, I guess I can't do it that way, but how do I do it? And, you know, one of the challenges here, too, is you talk with investment groups, whether they be VCs or angels, and it's going to be tough to get someone to look you in the eye and say, you know what, I'm sorry, it's, you know, you're putting lipstick on a pig. We've got to rethink this. Why? Because they're seeing hundreds and hundreds of ideas, you know, every month, every quarter. And it's tough to be that honest, because then you get people sticking around you saying, well, why? You know, but mine is great. What you'll get with TCVN is you'll get that honesty, but you'll also get the backup of individuals who can help you recreate or fix.
Well, and on occasion, that no can actually inspire the person to either go back and fix it, or to be so convinced that just impassions them that much more, and they go forward and fight and prove the assumption wrong.
Absolutely.
Not to say that you guys are wrong on a regular basis, but I think that's a good challenge for the person. Do they truly believe in what they're doing, or don't they?
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
So let's look a year ahead. Where do you see since you've had a year in the seat as president, how do you think TCVN will be different?
I haven't quite yet, although it feels like it. I actually was brought in a couple months ago as president.
No, I say when you get to a year, where are you going to be?
You know, I think in a year, TCVN, to my mind, is going to be a very similar organization and a very different organization. Very similar in the sense that our true mission in life and our true passion is helping entrepreneurs honestly, transparently, directly. And I don't think we're going to waver from that one bit. In terms of how we do it, I think a lot will change, and certainly in terms of growth and reach into the community. We're very much about allying and working with groups around the community, because, again, we see ourselves as a starting point. A friendly home, if you will, where you can always come back, no matter what other groups you join, no matter what other groups you pitch to or engage with, you can always come back for advice with us. And that's truly what I'd like to do.
So with that said, if somebody hasn't developed their idea very much and isn't ready to fast pitch, you're saying that this is the place they should start, maybe keep their idea to themselves for a while and come and absorb the information. Is that kind of
absolutely
what you're saying?
We've got entrepreneurs and startups in all phases. In fact, at our last forum, we had a company that is designing and delivering jet propulsion systems for satellites to Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and others. And we have businesses where an individual has just filed his corporate paperwork and is still not sure what business he or she is in. So absolutely, all stages are welcome. And in fact, you know, part of my own personal mantra and a lot of the committee members is, you know, don't be afraid of sharing your ideas. You know, don't keep it to yourself. We'll help you form the idea. I mean, one of the mistakes I think that a lot of entrepreneurs make is that they're so guarded with what they do. The truth is you're not going to be able to do it alone. You never do. You always require teams and professionals who are more experienced than you. So sharing is only going to help.
All right. Well, I wanted to ask one in particular question.
Sure.
What is the dollar level of investment that generally can be expected by a first-time investor?
You know, it depends. Are we talking about? It depends on the business, obviously.
Okay.
But these days, as you know, because of the economy and because of the you know the limited success that a lot of entrepreneurs have had in this atmosphere or environment, those dollars are really thin, and they're well placed. They're carefully placed, and so that's a difficult question to answer, but I will tell you this, today, unless you're revenue, if you're pre-revenue, there are very few chances for you to get funding in this atmosphere unless you have something truly unique. And that means protectable, you've got an established marketplace, you've got something that is so far head and shoulders above everything else that's out there. And again, that's not to be negative, but the truth is the days of having an idea on a napkin or simply coming up with a bright idea, creating a website, and you don't have a marketplace that's engaging you yet and you get $500,000 or $1 million, those are much rarer, we'll put it that way. So my recommendation to entrepreneurs really is to build value. And if you're building a website or a product offering or service offering, your number one job really should be build revenue. It should be anyway as a business owner.
Right.
You know, unless you have revenue, you're...
Yeah, that was certainly lost on the dot-com days.
Absolutely. You know, unless you are selling to a marketplace, unless you have a marketplace, you're not in business. You have a hobby and an idea. And those are rough words to hear, but they're the truth. And the plain simple matter, you know, fact of the matter is that investors want to see something that either has a heck of a lot of potential based upon their own experience, and remember, they're betting essentially on the race and the horse both. But they've got to believe in the entrepreneur and the management team. That's another tough hurdle that a lot of businesses have to get through as well.
So if someone wants to get in touch with TCVN, how do they do that?
Sure. The best way is actually through our website at tcvn.org.
Okay.
And there's also a Google Voice or phone number there that they can reach us, and they can email us through a form. And I would encourage individuals at every level to reach out to us. We're here to help. So if you have a question with respect to anything in the Orange County scene, you know, you need help with regards to what networking group to join or how to approach a specific problem, email us. Let us know. We're there to help.
So one last question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We're seeing a lot of young people, teenagers in particular, that are doing businesses on the net.
Yes.
One of the things that as an expert in cybercrimes prevention and some of that stuff that we're starting to see is children getting involved in businesses that their parents either don't know about or are like, yeah, honey, go ahead. And then they find out that they are liable as adults. How do you is there an age limit? Should parents be bringing their children to TCVN to maybe learn about how they should be operating? At
present, most of our membership really are individuals who are past university age.
Okay.
That's a generality.
It's good to know.
Yeah, that's a generality. That said, we welcome young entrepreneurs. In fact, right now I'm forming a panel of advisors who is responsible for forming an alliance program for younger, sort of junior associates, if you will. And we'd love to engage that population because knowing from my own experience, it starts early, and the bug catches you, and you're either an entrepreneur or you're not, and you know whether you are or you're not in your soul. And there's no real age limit on that. So
and there's no antibiotic for entrepreneurship. It's just once
no
you
cure.
got it,
That's
you got it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So I would encourage, you know, if there are younger members out there who want to reach out to us, we're absolutely we welcome the communication. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to us
my
today.
pleasure. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you. My name's Kevin McDonald. We're here in Orange County. You're watching EyeOnBusiness, and thank you for watching.
For more information on TCVN, Tech Coast Venture Network, visit us on the web at tcvn.org.